Okay. Okay, we'll start the meeting. Roll call, please.
Val Wright.
Here.
I have my answer. Susan Brownell. Here. Gretchen Ross.
Here.
Chris Fitzgerald.
Here.
And Carrie Friend is absent this evening.
Okay, approval of agenda. I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Trustee Wright.
Aye.
Trustee Brownell.
Aye.
Trustee Ross.
Aye.
Trustee Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
1.3 public comment. There's nobody present, so there is no public comment. And with that, we'll go to closed session. Okay, we'll reconvene open session. President Carrie Friend couldn't be here tonight, so I will be running the meeting. And we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, there was nothing to report out on from closed session. Correspondence, I didn't see anything.
There is no correspondence to report.
Okay, that was 4.1. No correspondence. 4.2 public comment. I didn't receive
We have not
anything.
received any written public comment.
Okay,
Was there anyone here?
no.
Okay.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the minutes from September 11th meeting.
I make a motion to approve the September 11th, 2024 minutes.
I'll second. I beat you.
You did.
Any further comment? Trustee Brownell.
Aye.
Trustee Ross.
Aye.
Trustee Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Trustee Wright.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, 6.1 teacher presentation.
So tonight we have the honor of having Miss Megan DeVos, who is our drama for technical education teacher, present to us regarding what she does here for our both elementary and middle school drama. The board does have a handout in front of them as well, and I'm sure she will highlight our upcoming play, which is October 18th and 19th. Which is Charlotte's Web. It's 2 shows only, 6 p.m., $5 a ticket, and they will, I'm sure, sell out as they always do. So without further ado, Ms. Megan DeVos.
Thank you very much. I'm here to plug the show, of course. It's a good one this year. I kind of selfishly chose Charlotte's Web because it's an election year, and there's something about Charlotte's Web that is so innately American, with the county fair and the barnyard and the pig. And so I was really excited to do it. I also chose it because at Cayuga School, we strive to achieve a culture of kindness. And if nothing else, this play is about friendship and kindness, and it's also one of the best-selling children's novels, so I feel like everybody kind of knows it. I remember very distinctly reading for the first time, Some Pig written in Charlotte's Web and being like, wow, anything can happen. So as it's a play about cooperation and kindness, we're experiencing in my theater class kind of the same thing where life is imitating art. We're all trying to work together on a very tight, limited schedule to make this masterpiece. And I chose the full-length script, so there have been a lot of lines for these kids to memorize. So it's been a little bit of a struggle, but we've kind of overpassed that hurdle, and what's happening now is really, really cool. I'm pushing these kids really hard, and I'm teaching almost what I studied in college regarding theater, a very Stanislavskian approach to it, where we focus on the language and the words, and really try and show respect for those few words that the playwright and the author chose to tell their story. And so we talk a lot about what actions they're playing and, it's been, we talk a lot about what the words we say really mean, and it's been, really cool. This is a really bright group of kids, and so they've responded very well. So I'm impressed with what they've done thus far. I hope you come and see it. We just started our technical rehearsals today, and it's really cool because we have Ryan's running sounds and another student, Lane, came in to run lighting, and another student, Gayala, is stage managing. And so as we add those elements, there's just this air of excitement, and the costumes are coming in. And Mr. Schofield's art class did this brilliant barnyard set for us and this awesome giant spider web. So as it all comes together, I remember once again how amazing it feels to create a project and see it through to its completion. So we really look forward to performing next week when we have minutes. I also want to talk a little bit about elementary classes. So one thing that we're doing that's really cool is in their English language arts class, they are beginning to write short narratives. And so I get those narratives from their English teachers, and we bring them into class, and the students get to cast their story and direct their peers on how it's supposed to be acted out, and they basically bring their project to life, which is really, really cool. It allows them to see that they can do it all. They can be the writer, they can be the actor, they can be the director. And I think it's really empowering for them. In upper elementary right now, we're doing scene studies. So I wrote these really fun but dramatic Halloween scenes where two kids show up to a costume party in the same costume, and it becomes a real issue. So we're studying, what makes a scene in the beginning and the middle, and what the conflict is, and how each actor and each character achieves his or her objective. My goal is that these kids who are in 4th and 5th grade now, as they come up through my program, get to the 6th and 7th grade, and we're speaking a language and they have a vocabulary regarding the theater that I can really get into the nitty gritty with them. So that's cool too. I also get the privilege of working with the TK kids this year, and I'll walk into that room and I'll say, there's like a giant rocket ship filled with giraffes right in the middle of the room. And they'll say, yes, Mr. Boss, and it's blue. And one of the stops there is broken. We have to fix it. And it's like, yes, there's no in that room. It's really fun. We are, of course, not using so much language as we are using our bodies in that classroom to tell stories. So that's really fun too. Can I share a little bit about leadership in ASD as well?
Absolutely.
So Ryan's here to talk to you about ASD, but one of the best things that I think has happened on this campus this year is that ASD has become a class that we actually have during the school day. We were able to incorporate that as part of the enrichment program. And watching these kids get to come in and think about what they want their school to look like, what kind of culture they want to have, how they can be leaders, what kind of activities they want to do. It's been so rewarding. They have been nonstop. We've been really, really busy. And I'll let Ryan talk to you a little bit about that. But I also want to say that after the first half of the trimester, we got the second group of kids in who are not ASD officers, and they're kids who might not necessarily run for an ASD office because, in all honesty, when you're in school, it's kind of like a popularity contest. So they're kind of kids that definitely have what it takes to make these events happen. And they're coming into the room and they're discovering that they can be leaders as well. And it's been really, really fun to watch them kind of bring their own ideas to fruition. And I think it might open the door for a lot of them to maybe consider some kind of either public service or in high school going into the ASD. So that's been really rewarding as well.
And Megan, really quickly, and that was really the design of the enrichment intervention 6-week cycles, is that every child have these different exposures, whether it be in the Math Khan Academy, in leadership, in history day, and being able to present and to develop a project. and then also next semester in speech. And so having these experiences that they might not typically, jump in for, and they don't have to like suffer through something, for the entire trimester, an hour a day, whatever. It's a small sampling to hopefully kind of give them an experience that they may not have had before and may spark their interest for high school.
Yeah, our ASB this year is absolutely unstoppable. They're doing things like, we took one of the school dances off of the calendar and we thought they might not notice, but they did. And they were like, we're getting our dance back, and they all sat down together. You guys wrote that really beautiful letter to Miss B about why it was so important to them to have this dance. They got it back on schedule and we're having it this Friday night. We ran out of money in ASB accidentally, and they were able to come together and hold this really great car wash where they raised almost $1,000 in 3 hours. So they're not just talking the talk, they're doing the work and they're making things happen. It's very, very. And that's pretty much all I got. Thank you so much. Does anyone have questions?
So for those of you who might not remember, Megan found her way to us in a really unique way, an awesome way. She was invited by one of our parents to attend Jungle Book, which was put on my first year here by a temporary teacher that we had, and was infatuated by the enthusiasm and energy from not only the kids acting and singing and dancing, but the community support. And Cassidy, who the teacher was at the time, a young girl, was leaving in December to go off and live her dream in Los Angeles and try to make it, as a star. And Megan had spent her background, went to NYU, spent many years in New York City, living the actor's life, and then came back here to raise her family. And so it became the sort of kismet kind of experience where she went, wait, this is gonna be opening this job? And so here we are now, I guess 2.5 seasons, because we had a half season all of last year, now this year.
Yeah.
Her experiences here. She is a fully credentialed career technical education, design, media, and production teacher for Cayucas.
Wow.
Yes,
Pretty
I
awesome.
love it. And
Yeah.
I'm so lucky to do what I do.
Yeah. And she also teaches jewelry for our kids, which they love the jewelry class as well.
Yeah, because after I lived my dream in New York City and didn't make it as an actress, I went back to school for metalsmithing. And so the middle school here, they're amazing. I teach adult soldering and metalsmithing, and I was a little bit wary of introducing it to 12 and 13-year-olds, but they are fearless and they jump right in and they're really talented. And I especially admire some of the work some of the boys are doing in my class, because you think of jewelry and you're thinking, oh, all the girls are gonna sign up, and these guys come in and they just understand the way metal works and the tools, and it's really cool. So I'm having I really do have the best job. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Megan.
Can I add to that? Having been a middle school theater teacher and elementary, I know how much work that you put in, way beyond what school is about. And thank you for all the effort you put in.
Thank you.
Every single kid thinks they're a star after you're done. Thank you.
And they are.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Val. Okay, 6.2 ASB. I think we have a presentation.
We do
ASB.
have Brian Health. He would like to come forward to the podium. He is going to be our student speaker today. Okay.
Hello. Hello,
Hi.
I'm Ryan Hill. I'm the Interact representative to the ASB at Cayucas. ASB has had a very busy start to the school year. We just held our second pep rally in honor of Rock Your School Week. We talked about our daily routines and how we take comfort in their consistency, but sometimes we need to think outside the box and shake things up. We hosted some hilarious class competitions, including Elephant March, which is where students wore our pantyhose over their head, and we put a baseball in it, and there were cups lined up, and they had to swing their head and knock it down, almost like an elephant with its trunk. And then after that, some of our ASB members they did a walk and dance performance where they sung California Girls by Katy Perry. And it was really funny. And our first fundraiser this year, after we accidentally went broke, it was a car wash. And we worked for 3 hours from 12 to 3 and raised over $900. And I was the squeegee master. Also, just wrapped up our middle school lunchtime volleyball tournament and the 4th and 5th grade kickball tournaments. This week, we began a jump rope / hula hoop / rock paper scissors competition for grades 1 through 3. Yesterday, we held our first tryout for the girls volleyball team. All students would wear red, and if you wear red and you came over to the thing, you would get a free washable falcon tattoo. And it was so cool. This Friday is our fall Halloween costume dance. And students will be competing for the best, scariest, and best group costumes. We will be covering the gym in spooky colors and spiders and eerie, scary lights. She was the DJ, but now it's gonna be Grayson's mother. She is gonna be the DJ, and she is gonna do an awesome performance. This following Friday, you will see XP running the concession stand at Charlotte's Web. And the week after that, we will be running activities surrounding the Red Women Week. This is gonna be a busy October. Thank you so much for having me, and bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Good
the
job.
update.
Really excellent job, and he just got off the field. We had a flag football game, home game, that went into overtime, nail biter, but unfortunately, today was not our day, but I know it's coming. It's coming, it's definitely getting closer each time. Brian, that was excellent, nice job.
Okay, and then next, I think we have a PTA presentation.
We have our PTA president, John McKee.
Hey, everybody. So I'll be very healthy next month. First time I've been on antibiotics since I was in grade school, so. Thank my knowledge for that. Climbing the bed with us and breathing our faces, pretty very normal stuff. I'm on the recovery symptomatic stage, so don't worry. I'm not doing that thing, but I'm just doing this out of precaution. So great job, Brian, and Megan, I want to thank you because I bought some pineapple earrings from the Fishy Girls and Maddie Madonna. So it must have come from your inspiration. So thank you very much. Also, my wife asked me to try the zeros from. Okay, so PTA, we are just full-fledged in the carnival, which is happening later this month on the 26th on Saturday. And everything is going great on that. We're gonna have a full slate of games. We have all the volunteers we need because we hired or employed the Grizzly Academy to help us out there. And we're looking forward to working with them. And then they'll also give a lot of flex time to the parents so they can go out and wrangle their kids and enjoy the day. We have a silent auction. It's going to be an abbreviated one, but still going to be really cool. There's going to be a lot of great stuff to do. And we're still simultaneously gearing up for the big one, our Gale, and we're trying to talk about after that. Those are the carnival list. So I mentioned full slate of games. We have also added a costume contest and a pumpkin pie eating contest. So that ought to be hilarious. We're going to be making tri-tip sandwiches this year instead of a tri-tip salad. So we have great food, great games, and it'll be a really good day, weather permitting. It should be. I don't think anyone's going to be disappointed by what we are going to be doing this year, and we even better things in store early next year. So that's now all we talked about in the meeting. But if you have any questions about what's going on with PTA, take us out on it.
No,
Great.
yeah, pretty thorough.
Thank you. We scored bingo, for the right reasons they got denied. We scored doing some kind of downtown enrollment, but for the right reasons again, it was denied. But we still managed to put together a good program. So hopefully the results will speak for themselves, and it helps out.
And the one thing is, it's gonna be a little later in the day, right? It's gonna be from 2 to 4.
2 to 5.
Oh, 2 to 5, so it will be on the 26th from 2 to 5, and that's really to help accommodate families because of soccer season and other youth sports. So there was a lot of conflict with people trying to get that all done, and cross-country meets in the morning, soccer games, and we think that this is gonna be a really good time for families.
Yeah, and if you want to get there early, we're gonna kind of do a soft opening, start meeting the Grizzlies and stuff, so the girl will be going in the morning. So if you want to come over and hang out, please feel free.
That's
Oh.
awesome.
What a great idea to get,
Uh,
what a great idea to get the Grizzly Academy involved. They're great kids, and I know how much work it is to staff all the games.
Yeah, and so we can get a really reliable set of volunteers within the parents, and we're just getting to know a lot of new parents still in the school year, but so many have expressed the desire to help set up and break out, and that's great. But just getting people to come in during the day, like Jen mentioned, we're not doing soft games, come back, and it gets a little bit tough, so we give the Grizzlies a good shot to help us out with full gratitude for the part, so.
Awesome.
Great.
Great, yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, 6.4 Wellness and Safety Committee.
So every year, we just make a announcement around our Wellness and Safety Committee. They're required committees for school districts, public school districts to have. We have listed on the agenda the safety committee meetings. We have board representative Val Wright, who is a member of the safety committee and has attended the last, all of the meetings this school year. You'll notice that our next meeting will be November 20th. We talk about not only adult safety, facility safety on campus. We look at ways we can look at and purchase items that can prevent, for example, overexertion when it comes to cleaning floors, or if it's reaching something up high, making sure there's appropriate ladders, those type of things, to in the long run keep our staff safe, anyone who uses our facilities, and hopefully our workers' compensation costs down. The Wellness Committee is also a required committee from the state of California. It's run by Becky Marquez. And Becky, who also helps run and is the champion for child nutrition here in our cafe, does a beautiful job in which she educates and updates the wellness policies that are required from the state, and then also encourages healthy activities throughout the campus. And her kind of partner in crime in that is our nurse Natalie Intarian. And we look at staff events that can be done that help promote wellness for the staff too. So you'll notice the next date for that meeting is November 13th. And the rest of the dates are located on the website or here on the board. So it's just an informational item.
Okay, thank you. 7.1 Board Member Reports. Yeah,
I went to the LCAP meeting this month, and it went very smoothly. We're just sort of reviewing each of the different, there's 4 different parts of the LCAP, and so we're going in chronological order and reviewing them and discussing what needs to be changed. And I don't think we came up with any changes that needed to, not for goal 1. And I stayed because immediately after that was the volunteer meeting, which Liz ran, and I was shocked at how many people were at that meeting. I think I counted 34, 35. Yes. Oh, wow. So
80 people signed up to be volunteers.
we have 80 people signed up to be volunteers. And how many households do we have? I mean, no, that's a different question from how many students. I mean,
140,
Yeah.
145-ish.
okay.
Yeah.
We have grandparents, aunts, uncles, everything.
That is really, it was fabulous to see, and everyone was so excited to be volunteering. It just made my heart sing to see that. And then I went to the Rock Your School pep rally, which was an absolute blast. And the kids were just so excited. And Bill Burke's band, our history teacher's band, was absolutely fabulous. And it was really a great event.
I also went to Rock the School, and I was impressed with two different groups of people. One were the little kids that were sitting on the floor. They were fired up, but I'm not sure it was the band or the balloons that they had, which they were using to hit each other over the head. But they were definitely into it because those balloons were being used in sync with the band. That was impressive. I also noticed that there were a group of older students, one to my left, right, for the band, and they were, involved, but it was the group directly in front of me that almost fell off the stands, fired up with the music, really, really involved with every single note in every word. The other thing I read where Cayuga School was rated #1. Now, I don't know if I had anything to do with that. But I also noticed that Laguna, where I taught, was rated #1 in their middle school segment. Teach Elementary was #2, and I also taught there. Unfortunately, Morro Bay High was #8, but I'll get over that. I only did summer school there. So it seems as though wherever I went, there was a significant accomplishment. And what I really want to say is congratulations to Cayuga School. It's not always that they notice us, and now they are through a county-wide publication.
Great. Yeah, thanks, Bill. That's a trend. School related, I had a garage sale a few weeks ago, and that's when I met the new history teacher and his wife. They stopped by, and so I met him there. And then he told me he was playing somewhere, and then I knew he was going to play in the thing. I didn't get to see it, but seems like a very nice guy. And that's it, school related. Okay, 7.2 superintendent's report.
So we, as everyone's talked about, from our student to our teacher to the board members, we have been very, very busy and really looking at how do we get everyone involved and enthusiastic and connected to school in lots and lots of ways. So we recently sent out an email that really highlighted some of the key events that are coming up in October. But even prior to that, really a plea to talk to our parents, because we believe our parents are our true partner in educating. We have noticed, Liz and I and the staff here, that our transition from summer has been full of energy in some of the best ways possible, but then also some that have not been like curved to the most conducive ways to be learning. And so kind of highlighted and reached out to our parents to help reinforce some more positive behaviors. One of those, and you'll see here, is just the screaming. So it's really cool to be excited and enthusiastic, but to be mindful, obviously, is that we're in the middle of a neighborhood and some of like the just screaming at the top of your lungs at recess has been a little troublesome for our neighbors. And
Really?
so, and people have different recesses, and And so we're encouraging our kids to be enthusiastic and to yell and to cheer, but like screaming at the top of your lungs should be kind of reserved for emergency purposes. Then even just being, again, in that same vein of just being excited about life and in, knowing your own personal bubbles in space so that we're not, fully running into other people and just kind of, taking a breath, being under control, those type of things. And then last but not least, making sure that whenever we have adults on campus, that we're really respectful and kind and use our best manners. So our parents have been great and responsive around that and just having those type of reminders. Because it's, again, just the transitions for the little ones in middle school, when you go from a playing field to a classroom and how we have these different energy levels that will help us navigate that. But with that said, overall, things have been going incredibly well. We do have an incredibly busy October as well as we did September. A couple key highlights with that is that we just finished our career fair. You'll notice in our newsletter, we highlighted, we had a pretty amazing panel. We had Vivian Rennie from KSBY, the meteorologist here. Ben Wright, who does classic car restoration. He's an artist with that. Also had 100 shows on network TV in which he highlighted some of his amazing cars that he restored. Riley Murphy, who's an archaeologist and a childhood actor. I mean, it was just awesome. And Sarah Schultz, who is a potter and a local artist and instructor. So giving our kids lots of experiences to look at careers that are out there. Tara Walker, our career and college counselor, did a beautiful job interviewing them for the middle school. So they saw kind of like almost like you remember, this will totally age me, but like a Phil Donahue or Oprah style interview panel. And then they were able to go off into their tables and then ask personalized questions. For the littler kiddos, they were able just to go to the small groups and ask questions. Throughout the week, there was dress up days. We had contests where we gave out clues about different careers that are out there, like a park ranger, forest ranger, things like that. Again, to get kids thinking about maybe careers they aren't exposed to on a daily basis. So that was wonderful. Additionally, our sports are full blown happening. Our cross country team did an amazing job down in Pismo. We won the elementary division for both boys and girls. In fact, our boys scored first, second, third, and fifth, and then eighth for our runners. I mean, they just did tremendously well. Their coach is Miss Michaela Pepley, who is our elementary PE teacher. And we had two kiddos, our young female runner, Rylan, and a male runner who were within seconds of getting the course records that had been there for decades.
Wow.
Yeah. What was our runner? Hayes, thanks, Hayes, yes. So really just cool. Our volleyball A team had their first win yesterday, which was great, and you could see it coming. Between the first and the last, or like the first game of the season, and then now they're closing out, getting better, working together as a team, and really building some great capacity in their coaches, Sean Anderson, with Eric Schofield, our art teacher who coaches the younger children in girls volleyball. So really just a plentiful, awesome time. The Rock Your School event is really a kickoff. I will say it was an awesome event, but the real culminating experience for that will be October 24th and 25th. So definitely anytime you want to come during any one of those 2 days, it's Thursday and Friday, the teachers are going to be rocking their classrooms. So Rock Your School's message is about doing something different. And really getting out of your normal daily habits. And so they will be transforming their classrooms into pretty cool learning experiences, whether it's a superhero room or a camping room, and still teaching the standards, but with these different lenses to be like just interesting and enthusiastic so that kids think, gosh, remember when my classroom was turned into a camping ground? That's crazy. And it kind of gets you excited about it. And I think it's going to be great. We have bat caves, we have gold mining expeditions, all of these things happening, a glow room at middle school. So it's just going to be a really cool way, not only for the adults to kind of get something new and their juices flowing about that, but also for the kids.
That's the 24th and 25th.
24th and 25th of October, it's coming very quickly, which is great. Other things that are happening, we already talked about the awesome middle school dance, that's this Friday. And then our school play, which is next week. Megan said 2 weeks, it's really only a week and a half away, so it's coming up very quickly. We will celebrate at the county office level our 2 employees of the year. That would be for last school year, and that's Lexi Todd, our 3rd grade teacher, and Julie Sherrard, our classified member who's a paraeducator in kindergarten. Which will be lovely. And then everyone in the county will be recognized, and they'll name the county teacher of the year at that point. And then we'll round off really with Red Ribbon Week, which is always about an emphasis about making healthy choices and being junk free. And really having our school carnival with the PTA. Just as a reminder, Halloween is on a Thursday. When we set our calendar, much like other school districts in our area, I believe San Luis Coastal as well, that Friday after Halloween is a no school day. So sorry, parents, you're welcome, teachers. And the day after Halloween, as being someone in the education the last 25 years, it's always a challenging day. And it's not something we would have done when we built the calendar if it was a Tuesday or something. But because it fell so nicely on a Thursday with the Friday being off, and in conjunction that San Luis Coastal, where a lot of our siblings go, we do have that Friday off. Which will be nice. Kids will be able to sleep in a little and have their candy hangovers at home. So that is kind of October in a nutshell. I did let the board know that our state testing scores are being released publicly tomorrow. They are currently embargoed, so we're not to speak about where those scores are. But as Val Wright had said, Cayucas Elementary did fare very well by an independent evaluator of schools looking at culture, staff turnover, and support and care. Getting the top ranking in elementary and in middle school for the area. And this is a very competitive county for schools. So that was wonderful, and it's a definite compliment to our teachers and to our parents and the kids. Right, that's my report for the day.
Great, thank you. LCAP update?
Yeah, we are moving along with LCAP. We have officially had our first meeting. We sent out the video. We're trying something a little new. After each meeting, we'll have about a 3 to 5 minute video that gives a synopsis. Again, just to keep people informed and interested. Each one will be focused on one of the 4 goals so that you're not getting this water hose of things around the LCAP, which I think will be helpful. And digestible. Our next meeting is scheduled for October 29th. And it's from 8 to roughly 8:30, 8:45 in the morning. I did want to thank our official LCAP committee, which includes board member Gretchen Ross, Sarah Brown, our 1st grade teacher, Joanne Montgomery, our kindergarten teacher, Liz Villalobos, our principal, Roberta Held, who serves as a parent, Katie Madonna, who serves as a parent, and Natalie Intarian, who serves as a parent on our committee. Every parent, though, is welcome, and we'll definitely encourage and invite more people to attend when we get closer. And that's our LCAP update.
Great, thank you. 7.4 GASB 75 disclosure.
GASB 75. So GASB 75 is another lovely acronym that we have in education needs. It stands for the Government Accounting Standards Board. GASB 75 historically was created because there was a need to make sure there was some standardized accounting for school districts as it was a use of public funds. And because the state does actually fund a large portion of public schools. So with that, it not only looked at that we had standardized ways of accounting and doing our budgets as public schools, but also in particular that there were certain attributes to that accounting that needed to be done. Most specifically under GASB 75, it's called what's another great acronym, OPEB, which is the other post-employee benefits. So unfortunately, school districts for a long time got in a little bit of trouble. They were excellent about planning their year in, year out costs, right? I know how many employees I have, this is how much their salaries are and their benefits, and here's what we're gonna spend on classrooms. But what wasn't standardized was how people were accounting for and predicting the retiree costs, employee costs that include workman's comp, these other extraneous costs. And so this gives this outside view about making sure that these public institutions are appropriately budgeting these other costs that are a little less finite than your typical budgetary costs. So every year, we do a report, the GASB 75, and it's attached to this item here. And it's a disclosure, making sure that the public institution is following the accounting guidelines and making sure they are appropriately budgeting for those costs. And so that's what you see here. And I'm happy to report that everything looks great. And we will move forward with the next one next year.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
7.5, review bylaw 9250. Looks like there were some changes made to this bylaw.
The last board meeting, trustee Friend mentioned that she wanted the board bylaw committee, which trustee Friend is the chair of. Everybody has different duties, as we know. And she wanted to specifically look at 9250. So this is an information item only, because in order to change a bylaw, it would have to come next meeting as an action item. But specifically in conversation, it looked at some confusion around the terminology of the word retirement in applying it to board members. So the change that was made was getting the word retirement out of the bylaw and changing it to read. So it would have said, instead of effect at the time of retirement, it would say effect at the time of separation from the elected / appointed position. And then the only other addition is in red at the very bottom, which says former board members in alignment with employee benefits are not eligible for benefits if benefits lapse or benefits are terminated. And so it just clears up some maybe questions. It just means that for the public, board members have an opportunity to have the health insurance benefits that employees have. It's actually the only in Cayucas, it's the only financial benefit of being on the board is that you have a contribution towards benefits if you elect to have them. And then when they leave the board, whether it be they know when their election or they decide to no longer run, if they continue on the benefits, then they pay the full amount of the benefit for the plan until they're 65, if they would like to still have access to that. So that's what this board bylaw is about. These are the changes that Mary, myself, and Carrie kind of wordsmithed. Take some time to look it over. Mary actually attached the current full read of it. And at next meeting, we can even talk more wordsmith if we need to. We basically have a choice of 3 things, which is to leave it the way it is, not change anything about the bylaw, accept the changes that we've proposed as the committee, or make some different changes and accept it. So you have some time to decide.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, section 8, consent agenda.
Staff does recommend approval of the consent agenda.
I move that we accept the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Trustee Ross.
Aye.
Trustee Castillo.
Aye.
Trustee Wright.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Motion passes 4.
Okay, section 9, 9.1, review, accept donations.
Staff wants to thank and moves for approval pending the board. The Rotary Club donation of $560 who helped us purchase more advanced Legos. So we know we have a cool engineering Lego class, and there were kids who wanted to take it for a second time. They took it last year as 6th graders for the first time. They're taking it as 7th graders, and so they needed some additional Lego engineering opportunities. And so Rotary Club of Cayucas has donated money for that.
I move that we accept the Rotary Club of Cayucas's donation for Legos and for the Lego engineering class.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Trustee Castillo,
Aye.
trustee Wright,
All right,
trustee Brownell, and trustee Ross.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, 9.2, transportation agreement for 2024-25.
So for the past few years, quite a few years, actually, we've had an agreement with Coast Union. Who helps us with transportation. So because of geography, it works out very nicely. Where they have a bus or where they might be taking students to a San Luis Coastal regionalized program. Usually that's the case, that is for special education day classes or specialized programs for students. So they will drive through Cayucas and either pick up at our school or at home and keep going. So this just articulates the term of the contract. Currently they are transporting one preschool student for us. And it's working out well. There has been an increase in rates, a significant increase in rates. So Liz and Martin have worked out a way so that we had one student who is going to a San Luis Obispo County Office of Ed class that we're actually transporting with our van in the morning because they didn't have anyone going in that direction. So of course, them sending someone from Cambria all the way here to San Luis and then back to Cambria twice a day was gonna be pretty expensive, to be quite honest. So we're utilizing our own staff for that purpose, which is great. And we'll continue to look at ways that we can do that to save funds and utilize our current staff when possible.
Great. I'll make a motion to approve the transportation agreement.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
I have a question, just where do we stand with, so we do have with vehicles, I guess.
Yeah, so currently we have three vehicles. We have our bus, which gets serviced, it's doing well. Martin's done an excellent job as he's made that a focus around looking at the maintenance and records around our vehicles. We have a work truck that our maintenance and operations office utilizes on a daily basis, and then we have a van.
Okay.
Right before, during COVID, around that time, there was looking at vans to purchase, then there was a shortage of vans and like SUVs everywhere, if you guys recall.
Yes.
It was insane. We had ordered one here right when I was hired, and we were like, oh, where is this gonna come in and what happened here? And lo and behold, the order was canceled. It was trying to reorder. When we prioritized last fall, looking at what we would like to purchase, the first purchase would be the design and construction of the playground downstairs or in the lower field. And then the second one is a secondary vehicle or van. So really we're looking at first interim to see with the incredible rise in special education costs, what we are able to afford in this school year before we pull the trigger on either one of those.
Yeah.
So I think first interim will give us a good idea of that.
We needed that second van when we were here.
Yes, we do,
So, yeah.
we do.
Do you guys, have you had a lot of conflict with the other sports and sharing it and parents
the-
jumping in and?
Yep, parents jumping in. So really the beauty of it is the relationships that we have, kind of what trustee Ross had said, with so many parent volunteers, it's been very helpful. We would prefer to have a secondary vehicle though.
Yeah, I would like for you to have-
Especially with us transporting our own students, which in turn would save, we had 2 full transports. We didn't have the van now, and we had to have Cambria or Coast transport our student to the county office program. It would have been $35,000 to $40,000. So of course it makes sense to buy a van.
Right.
So that would be like 1 year. We would of course want to do that.
Mhm.
So with the one van, it does start to tie those things up.
Do you have drivers? Cause I remember I was able to drive, but that was just because I was on the board. They wouldn't have let me drive the van with all of the kids. But I have to say, all the kids together versus spread out in families there is a team cohesion, a team spirit that when they're all in the van together, they all talk about it, and I feel like it's important to have that van. So,
Agreed, yeah, and I think after the first interim, those are the two big things that we'll just
Yeah.
really need to look at. And
Yeah.
There's some budget accounts that we've had,
Yeah.
some nice balances in for a while, and those are what we're gonna present to you at the first interim to say, you know, I feel, you know, really comfortable about reducing this $130,000 budget down to 50 and utilizing that for a van or the play structure.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna come with some pretty creative ways to make those two things happen.
yeah, good.
Yeah.
It's within their district though, right? The transportation that,
So when Coast comes, they come from their district, pick up our kiddo,
Right.
and it goes to San Luis Coastal's district. So they have a preschool program for students with disabilities, that they have
Right.
a set number of kids, and we do too. So that's why we're utilizing that right now.
but their responsibility is to transport students from here who choose to go there, right?
Oh, so then there's the other side of that, which is we have students that for high school
Right,
that meet up here and have a van that goes there.
right.
Yes, we don't pay for those students.
Okay,
Yes,
okay, I
no,
got
we don't pay to have our kiddos transferred. No,
Okay,
it's only for like a specialized program.
okay.
Yep, great question.
Okay, yeah, thanks for that. I just remember years ago, there were funds available for electric buses. And we tried to get some of those, I don't know, didn't really work out, but just as a backup.
Yeah, there's a lot of grants and a lot of pushing towards that at CSBA. There's always a great, you know, like a demo of that. The electric bus, it's for our route and how short it is. It's kind of an interesting,
Yeah,
but I mean.
maintenance wise, it might be.
Yeah, but,
beneficial.
California's new guidelines and its restrictions around diesel and even some of the vegetable oil fueling that's happening with school buses. That decision may be taken out of our hands in the near future. That's what people are predicting, depending on, how elections fall in the near future, but we'll see that when we get there. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I guess we take the vote.
Staff does, recommend approval. Yes. And they already have a first.
Yeah.
Okay.
My apologies. Trustee Wright,
All right,
trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Ross.
Aye.
Trustee Castillo.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, 9.3 cafeteria tables.
So this is, I thought it was very important due to the size of the purchase that we have this as a action item and make sure that we all understand where the funds are coming from. Because we just had a great discussion on how when we asked the community and staff to prioritize our needs, and we got lower field play structure and a van, and here we are spending $70,000 on furniture, different pots of funds. So I wish, honestly, I wish I could use that to no offense to the cafeteria tables, but I mean, to build a structure down at the end of the field. But we have successfully secured a grant a few years back, and Melanie Weemay has been the real champion around the paperwork of this grant and really utilizing the monies of this grant. Just getting my notes here just for a second. And she has been able to, with her partnership with Becky, get some great things for our kitchen. So some of those include in 2022, over $25,000 worth of equipment, which included refrigerators, prep tables, freezers, a dishwasher, countertop chill freezer, commercial blender, which we do smoothies for kids, which is great. Better knives, serving trays, and some miscellaneous other kitchen items. Both Becky and Alyssa, who are two staff members, are also doing wonderful courses under the School Institute, which talks about different recipes and making sure we're under the guidelines, but also really expanding their scratch cooking and how it can be done in a way that's like exciting for kids and they're interested in having healthy meals as well, which has completely happened. And this is completely anecdotal, thank you.
Anecdotal.
Yes, thank you. But our 5 to 6 kiddos who transferred for loans, oh my gosh, every day they're like, this food here. I can't believe this is, and our kids, you know, who just have had the food here, they're like, this is amazing. This is really great. They get really excited about it and it's fantastic.
I'd like to be invited to lunch one time.
Oh my gosh, yes, especially because our salad bar and our homemade dressings too. which are great.
Let me
So
know when-
I'll find a good day,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Come to lunch today. You wanna come too?
So I remember
Yeah.
hamburger and
That one
tater
I would
tot
like to
day.
be invited
That was
to.
my
That
favorite.
one
Yes.
I-
Yes, for sure.
I'll let
Yeah,
you
they-
first in line.
Yeah, they actually just did for the first time through one of these courses on chicken ramen. And the kids were super fan of the chicken ramen, and so was staff.
I assume they
I'll
didn't
change
use
it up
top
before.
ramen.
No, all from scratch.
Wow,
All from, well, I mean, they
great.
didn't make the noodles, but I mean, the
Right.
broth and everything else, yeah.
Mm.
Additionally, in 2023, they had $110,000 towards, came from this grant funding from the state of California, which included a stove, oven, flat top warmer, which will be installed, the salad bar that you actually see behind, Trustee Brownell, which is freshly done every single day. The kids are really liking that, and so is staff. And now we're looking at the last bit of that, which will include the new tables. So these will be replaced. They are getting quite cumbersome and clunky out of the walls, which is part of when things fold up into walls, as you guys know, and fold back down. So to prevent staff injury and to make it more accessible, and in addition to that, a change of what's happening here. So behind Jenny and Liz, we have this bar here, and the idea there is you have these beautiful windows and to have like seating that you look out on this bar. But kids haven't really utilized that to the full extent. So instead, where the 3 windows are is, and nothing to block the windows, 3 booths that will sit more like a restaurant. So kids can sit in groups of 4 to 6 kids sitting at a booth, eating their lunches. Lots of kids eat outside, enjoy the beautiful fresh air. But we think that's gonna be a really cool opportunity to have group sitting, and especially I think for middle school, bringing them in and having that kind of feel. If anyone used to watch 90210 when they were like a teenager or college student, you'll get that feeling that you're going off to like the diner and having, you know, your fries with your friends. So we're really excited about that opportunity. And again, Melanie did all of the legwork to get the bid down and accessible. We are utilizing only a little less than $6,000 of district money. Everything else is paid for through the
Wow.
grant. Yeah.
That's great.
So staff recommends approval, and with gratitude to both Becky and to Melanie for all of their hard
Where
work.
did that money come from?
State of California did a grant that looked at overall the state of California was $150 million. But our portion, based on our population of students, has allowed for this expenditure, these expenditures over the last few years, which has been great. A lot of paperwork, a lot of lifting with our staff, but definitely worth it, and they've done an excellent job, both Becky and Melanie.
I'll make a motion that we proceed with the purchase of the cafeteria tables.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Trustee Brownell,
Hi.
trustee Ross,
Aye.
trustee Castillo.
Aye.
And trustee Wright.
All right, as
Motion
long as I
passes.
can come to eat here.
There we go.
Yes.
Guaranteed.
We're gonna find a really good day, so, well, there isn't a bad day actually to come, but we'll find a good. You'll come on one of the kids' favorite days.
Just not hot dogs.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever done. Yeah. we
You
did
never
like-
know. I
like a
mean, I don't know what
barbecue,
the,
but
I
yeah,
never eat lunch here, so.
yeah.
Not even hot dogs. Wow.
You like
Okay.
hot dogs?
Yeah.
Oh, Costco dog?
Yeah.
Nothing better than that.
You're right.
That is weird.
Okay, 10.1, future agenda items. Anybody have any requests? Future items?
We will have, obviously, the board bylaw that's listed here. We will talk a little bit about budgeting, because we're getting into November and making
And then-
sure that we have that first interim and some ideas around where we're at with our budgeting, but the official first interim will come in December, which will be great.
It's test scores.
And we will have a presentation on test scores,
Right.
which will be released tomorrow. We will also do a press release that we'll send to the board tomorrow around the budget or on the scores, but we'll have a presentation too.
Okay.
Should be a great meeting.
Anything else? No. Meeting's adjourned.